Welcome to Empowered with Elizabeth Naumovski. Have you ever heard of the term financial inclusion or even microfinancing? And why are these two so important to women? Today, I'm speaking with Caroline Munshaw, who's the Director of Philanthropy Ontario at Opportunity International Canada. Now, on their website, they explain what they do so succinctly and beautifully, I needed to use it for the intro. What they do, they empower families to leave poverty behind for good. They provide financial products, services, and training, along with paths toward new lives filled with strength, hope, resilience, and the power to achieve their dream. So let's begin. Caroline, thank you so much for joining us today. So let's begin. What is financial inclusion?
Well, thanks so much for having me, Liz. I'm so excited to be here with you and having this important discussion. So financial inclusion is when people have access to affordable financial products and services that meet their needs. And access is the key word. This is central to Opportunity's work. So the women we work with are marginalized, and because of their level of poverty, they're not able to access traditional banks. Sinaida, a Honduran woman, had a dream to own her own taxi rather than renting one from a friend. She told us that other financial institutions took one look at her and would not give her a loan. They didn't want to hear about her experience or her business ideas. She said that her appearance made them reject her. Opportunity's partner in Honduras welcomed her into the branch and listened to her. Thanks to the microloans Sinaida has received, she now owns 2 taxis, renting one of them out to another driver, generating more income for her family. Sinaida uses the other car as a taxi and also provides a meal delivery service. So through this access to loans, Sinaida was able to realize her dream and is now a thriving, successful businesswoman. Isn't that a gorgeous photo of her with her taxis?
You know what? It's an incredible story. And you and I both know why financial inclusion is so important. But for those who don't, why is it?
Well, it's so important that financial inclusion features in 8 of the UN's 17 Sustainable Development Goals. So when people are left outside the financial system, they lose out. So cash is not secure and is not earning interest. And if they can't access capital, it's very difficult to grow their businesses. So Sinaida could have continued renting out a taxi from her friend, but now she's able to better provide for her family and has created an income source for another woman. And imagine the sense of dignity she now feels as a businesswoman who's been able to access and repay those loans. So the ripple effect is just incredible.
Well, it's extremely empowering. And then they have the opportunity to give back to the community as well, which, it's an incredible way to live your life. Now, I want to talk about how are we progressing towards ensuring everyone has that access to financial services and that empowerment and the ability to give back to the community.
Mm-hmm. So we are progressing. It's incredible. So worldwide, 76% of adults now have access to a bank account. And that's up from 51% in 2011. So women have historically been disproportionately excluded from the financial system, as we know, but the gender finance gap has been narrowing in recent years, which is very encouraging. But I'm sure we can all share stories of women in Canada being excluded from the financial system, and now they have worked out ways to access or even change the system. I'll never forget hearing at CEO, now Corrales, that a woman seeking financing for her business was asked, "Great business idea. Now, what are you going to do about the fact that you're a woman?" What kind of a question is that?
I just have to shake my head. I'm sorry.
Right, exactly, right? Just what is that even? And that's just a few years ago. That's not 20 years ago. That was not the 1960s. That was just a few years ago. So we are progressing with making sure that everyone is included, but there are still clearly many barriers women are facing. So that woman that was asked that outrageous question was educated, has experience, lived in a city in North America. So just imagine the difficulty accessing financial services if you're uneducated, maybe you live in a rural area, perhaps you can't read or write, and maybe you don't even have ID. And there are no jobs. How do you feed your family? So we believe, right?
Yeah, no, please continue.
So we believe microfinance, a sustainable solution to poverty alleviation, is the way. So we've been providing access to financial services to marginalized people for over 50 years. And the industry started as Microcredit and has evolved into microfinance, providing access to savings and insurance as well. So we found that access to a safe place for savings is one of the most important products for people.
So let's end on that note, the most important product for people. So when we come back, we will discuss more microfinancing in a moment. So please don't go away. Welcome back to Empowered with Elizabeth Naumovski, where we're discussing financial inclusion and microfinancing. Now, Caroline, before we went to break, we were talking about the importance of microfinancing. What is the importance there?
Well, without the the savings aspect, the little savings that people have are hidden somewhere in their house. So the safe part that I mentioned at the beginning is really important. So don't necessarily trust the banks. And we don't have a minimum amount. The traditional banks have a minimum amount to open a savings account. So that's where the access piece comes in again. So without microfinance, it's somewhere hidden in their house, which is not safe from anyone, and including maybe some family members. So the safety is a really important piece. So we see how important it is. We have 18 million clients in 30 low-income countries, and we have 7.4 million clients with loans, and double that, 14.7 with savings accounts. So that just shows you how important that is.
No, it is. It's extremely important. So what are some of the innovative ways that Opportunity addresses financial exclusion?
Well, our clients are living in extreme poverty, so they don't have collateral to secure a loan. But recently, we piloted an alternative collateral program in Ghana that's really quite innovative. So in many countries where Opportunity works, the market of micro, small, medium-sized loans, women are concentrated in microloans, and their businesses are concentrated at the informal micro level, such as a $500 loan to buy a sewing machine to make it sell clothes, or an $800 loan to buy an oven for making tortillas. So home-based, micro, really small businesses, really self-employment. But many businesses are poised for growth and can handle larger loans. So at this higher level, let's say $4,000, collateral is required. And collateral such as titled physical property, primarily land or vehicles. But women have lower access to those required title property. So in some countries, women are stuck at the microloan level, even though they're ready to grow, unable to access that capital to grow that business. And many women do have unregistered assets that could be used to access these larger loans. So a traditional bank wouldn't think of this, but this pilot project that we ran, among other things, allowed women to leverage new types of collateral, including appliances, household, and personal items, maybe even a special heirloom ring. So something that may not have much financial value, but it was tremendous value to the entrepreneur. So we know that that's important to them. Really neat, right? So really making sure that's talking about access there. So Gladys, a single mother of 3, operates a construction supply shop in Ghana. Before she participated in the pilot project, her stock had been dwindling and her customers were quickly dropping off. She needed to increase her inventory, but she didn't want to borrow from family and friends, so she approached a bank. When the banker learned she had no collateral, she was quickly turned away, even though she had 13 years of experience. Her friend told her about Opportunity's partner in Ghana. So for their first loan with the loan officer, she was not stopped by security at the door, nor did the loan officer make her feel badly for needing to borrow, despite her lack of collateral. The officer described the alternative collateral program, and Gladys wanted to participate. She whizzed through the orientation training, where she learned to use credit strategically, and she invested her first loan to purchase the most popular inventory in bulk at a lower cost, immediately improving her profit margin. Gladys says that her new skills, increased income, and her first savings account have improved her confidence, and she has plans to hire neighbors to keep up with the steady growth at her shop. Isn't that awesome?
That's incredible. And you talked about the fact that you had some training. What does that entail?
Well, the training's really, really important. That's a crucial part of that. So the training is that, for example, even though you do need that loan, you need that money to maybe fix your home, or maybe you have a roof that is leaking, or you need to fix your floor, that this cost of credit is really important. So you need to use that loan to invest in your business and then use that increased income to fix your roof or your floor. So the training about credit, the training about It's all sorts of training. Financial literacy training is part of it, but also business training. So customer service, basic bookkeeping, all of that is really important. So the training to ensure that you're growing your business.
You know, all of those basics are super important, whether you're in Canada, third world country. We all need to understand our money. We all need to understand our bank accounts, you know, our budgeting, which people don't want to talk about. Unfortunately, nowadays, people just want a quick app to make sure that, you know, their debt goes away. But I love the fact that you are training people and it's working. We will be right back with more. Welcome back to Empowered with Elizabeth Naumovski, where we're discussing financial inclusion and microfinancing. Now, before we went to break, I wanted to ask you about this. Where and how do we start to ensure that everyone is included?
These are really important questions. So our local staff walk alongside our clients. The support and the training that we provide, along with the financial products, is a really crucial key to success. So often we really need to start with the basics. So in Haiti, we had a woman, we had to help her learn how to sign her name. In the Dominican Republic, one of our clients, a single mom of 5, had no ID. So the first step was to help her get ID. And in Honduras, our loan officer accompanied a potential client to the branch as they were just too nervous to enter a loan. And in Ghana, at the graduation ceremony that I mentioned for that women's mentorship program, it's held in a university, as most of the women would never have been in one before.
You know, and these are basic things that we take for granted on a daily basis. Like, these are things that we know. We know how to sign our names. We have the confidence to walk into a store or a university. And you know, I think it's incredible what you're doing. You know, going forward, what is the link between the financial inclusion and the financial literacy for these women?
Yes. Well, as you know, Liz, the financial literacy training is crucial. So about 2/3 of unbanked adults said they would need help using an account if they open one at a financial institution. So that's worldwide. So we work to transform lives, and we're really committed to ensuring our financial products are helpful and not harmful. So that's where that training really does come in. And that's what differentiates Opportunity. It's not just a product. It's not just a financial product. The training and support is key. So our financial literacy training includes basic savings, budgeting, basic bookkeeping. We have a client named Lydia who started out as a waste picker in Accra. Since receiving loans and that business training, Lydia no longer works by the side of the road. She now runs a business recycling plastics and metals, get this, with 10 employees.
Wow.
She now also has, incredible, right? She also has 100 people who collect recyclables for her, providing an income for them. So the financial literacy training she received has been a key part of her successful growth. She's using her current loan as working capital, and in the future, plans to buy land, continue to grow her business, and provide employment for older women and youth. What a powerhouse.
You know, these 3 stories that you shared with us are so incredible. And, you know, it's not hundreds of thousands of dollars that you're lending these women. You know, you were saying as little as $500. It's incredible what $500 can do to a community, a society, and somebody's entire life. When you look at the big picture, how do microfinance and financial inclusion intersect?
Well, I believe that microfinance really is the heart and soul of financial inclusion, as microfinance pioneered the vision of reaching people living in poverty who had previously been excluded from financial services. So financial inclusion seeks to make sure that everyone has access to useful financial tools, while microfinance wants to make sure that those tools lead to positive benefits for those living in poverty. So we've mentioned access as an important part of financial inclusion, but the affordable products is the other part. Without microfinance institutions, taking loans from loan sharks is really the only option available to some people. You heard they're not welcome in formal financial institutions. So if it wasn't for microfinance, that would be it, causing those people to be in deeper levels of poverty because of those exorbitant interest rates. So microfinance products are both accessible and affordable.
So, what are the barriers to financial inclusion?
I see that there's two, both like internal and external barriers to financial inclusion, and opportunity tackles both. So, one internal barrier, as we can all imagine, is lack of confidence. So, the first module in our women's group curriculum, it's not budgeting or cost of credit, although we mentioned we do cover those. It's self-esteem. That's the first topic that they cover.
So important.
So important. You can do this. We're here for you. What are your skills? Let's work on your confidence. So the group of 20 to 30 women are led by a staff member who encourages and supports them. And at the end of the 12-week program, the women have such a bond and have benefited from the mutual support that they continue to meet. And almost all report an increase in confidence in their ability to run a small business. They're smart and extremely hardworking. They just need an opportunity, someone to believe in them and themselves.
And the whole networking part of it is so important. Even here in Canada, you will never fail. You need to surround yourself with incredible people. If you do, you will never fail, because if you don't know the answer, someone else will. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about what Opportunity International does. Welcome back to Empowered with Elizabeth Naumovski. We're discussing financial inclusion and microfinancing with Caroline Munshaw, Director of Philanthropy Ontario at Opportunity International Canada. Now, before we went to break, we were talking about the barriers of financial inclusion. Let's talk about the benefits. What are the benefits of financial inclusion?
The number one is people's sense of dignity, right? You're included, you're part of the system, your sense of dignity is so important. So our partner in Honduras opened a new branch in a mall, and the malls have security guards and sometimes refuse entry to people. So one of our clients in Honduras shared how thrilled she was to be able to confidently walk into that mall, knowing she would not be stopped, as she could show her bank card. She belonged there. And she was even more delighted when she could ride the escalator up to the second level where the branch was. She'd never been on an escalator. So we've seen over and over, when a woman has access to financial services, her family benefits from the increased income. And as her business grows, she hires neighbors or family members, and her community also benefits. So we can imagine here, once we have our economic stability, our family is healthy, we can really start to think beyond where the next meal is coming from. We can look outward. We have energy and drive to solve community issues. So we've seen examples of women petitioning for street lights in their neighborhood to make it safer for them in the evenings, or a safe place for their kids to play. And I hear so many stories of women encouraging each other on their journeys. In those women's groups, as you had mentioned, that networking, they talk about problems that they're having in their businesses and come up together with solutions as a group. Or they'll think about even issues they're having with their families, and they have that support network. So just so many incredible benefits to being included and having that sense of community.
It is so empowering. It's incredible what you are doing. The most admirable thing is that these women want to give back to the community and help it thrive once they're on their feet, which is amazing. I mean, you've given us all these different scenarios and all of these different experiences for these women. What has been the most memorable for you personally?
Oh boy, there's been so many. I remember there was one in the Dominican Republic. I met with a woman who had started a business, and she was selling. It's so simple, but selling popsicles to women, to kids in her community. And she had said before that she was just kind of lying around and wasn't really engaged. And her kids said to her, "Mom, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. We love seeing you so happy and excited and energized." And that to me was really memorable. The impact on the children, seeing their mom running a business, the impact it has on daughters and sons, seeing their mom happy and thriving and a successful businesswoman.
So on that positive note, how can we in Canada support women's financial inclusion in low-income countries?
Oh, thanks for asking that. So, just like tonight, so you're learning more about the issues facing women living in poverty. You can help spread the word about opportunities programs. We're not necessarily as well known, so spreading the word is really important. You can support our work either by making a donation or holding a fundraiser or maybe becoming a corporate partner. I would love to connect with anybody if they wanted to discuss any of this. Our website is shown here, so you can check out information on our website and connect with me. And together, we can help ensure everyone is included in the financial system and end global poverty.
I love it. Financial literacy, financial inclusion, female empowerment for all. Caroline, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing these incredible stories of women that have actually thrived. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks so much for having me.
The incredible facts about microfinancing is the Opportunity International clients have a 97% repayment rate. 97%, which is incredible. And this comment from one of their clients is heartwarming. They didn't care how I looked. They trusted me and gave me the loans I needed to buy my business. Now I'm thriving and a successful businesswoman who's changed the trajectory of my family. I'm Elizabeth Naumovski, and I'm trying to empower you and make frugality fashionable. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.